Thank you for staying with us. The voice of the people is the voice of reason, and a listening leader should not jettison such. President Bola Tinubu has listened to the yearnings of Nigerians over the 8,000 naira transfer to 12 million household palliatives, as President Tinubu directed immediate review of the policy intended to cushion the effects of the fuel subsidy removal on citizens and unveiling of the entire package to Nigerians. Babajide and other guests joined Nigerians in criticizing the policy while discussing the issue on Journalists Hangout. Let's share that with you.
What we should be advising our government to do is, come, you can still do this, devoting this quantum of money to something that will not, in my view, lead to greater production. It's not what we want to see. Of course, America during COVID made cash transfers to its people because a lot of them were trapped in their houses. They couldn't produce. That's a situation that is different. There are those who have argued that, look, government can support small-scale enterprises, for example, give people 1 million naira each, and those people will be able to provide employment to at least 3 or 4 persons. Boosting the economy is our goal. I don't see how this can help. This kind of conditional cash transfer, in my view, cannot lead to a greater production and real economic growth.
NPC adjusted their price, not knowing that we predicted that it will always reflect if the sector is regulated.
Yes, once it's regulated,
international oil, crude oil price,
detect the prices.
will detect this, and
even
so we go higher
of our currency.
Yeah,
is also a factor. As I said on Sunday, we had not seen the worst. Anytime the price goes up internationally, we should expect to pay more here. That is the problem about removal of subsidy. We have to accept it as a people. And that's why some of us oppose the idea of spending as much as more than 500 billion simply to distribute 8,000 to 12 million families.
That policy is not popular.
The policy is not popular with Nigeria. Let's even, sometimes the policy may not be popular, but it's what you need. Because the majority is not always right. But we have to interrogate even this, ask ourselves, those who believe that we should look at alternative to it, I think they are making sense. The palliative measures that government is thinking of has to bear in mind the fact that the pain of commuting now will be greater. Only God knows what those motor boys.
Down for drivers. Oh, yeah,
so what people are suggesting is let us buy so many buses.
Yeah.
Buy so many buses. I've seen all kinds of suggestions. Somebody said 500 billion will purchase 8,000 60-seater buses. And that will even create jobs. If you buy 8,000 60-seater buses, you create jobs for driver, you create a job for the conductor, you even create job for mechanics. So, and each state will get each state and the FCT will get 216 buses. Even in Lagos, as big as Lagos is, if we pump 216 60-seater buses into Lagos, 216, it will drive down the cost of transportation, which is the greatest pain that our people are going through.
The last administration, so much money were frittered away on activities like that. The Ministry of Humanitarian and Natural Disaster Management. kept telling us the huge billions they have shared to families.
That during
And
COVID, we were even talking about school feeding.
Yes.
That
People were on holiday,
not
students were not in
we were
school,
talking about school feeding.
accounts were
So a
presented
lot of people are
to
afraid
us
of the
that they fed
accountability.
people at home. Pupils were fed in their mother's home. So immediately we had about 8,000 cash transfer. It reminded us of that era. Aside that, 8,000 naira a month will practically do nothing.
Really, for anybody that is in our and for people that really understand our plight, our job is quite difficult at this time around. But the responsibility is in our hand to always tell our people the truth and to always stand with our people. It's difficult, our job. I know you understand what I'm saying, but then we have to stand by the people. We told government that this is not the right way to go. We've been saying it since Sunday.
They said we would not be able to say it. Look at what they are saying now. You cannot criticize. He has never criticized Tinubu. Because these people don't know history. When Asiwaju made that those remarks in Abeokuta, here, I said, in my view, what he said was wrong. You have managed President Buhari for so long. This is not the time to let your dam break. I criticized him. Even on Amotekun, I criticized him. The videos are there. They say, Babajide has never criticized Asiwaju. Now that Asiwaju is in office, we want to see what Journalists Hangout will do. They will never open their mouth to speak for the people. My problem with them is that
nobody will.
They will.
That's why we're playing it. That's why we're giving you the playback.
That's why we have to put it in their faces. They will pretend Asiwaju is a Democrat. And I've said it before that even in his cabinet, the people that were always bold enough to say, Oga, this thing is wrong, sir. Those were the people that he got really close to.
Yeah.
Some of them are still with him today.
So yes, most of them.
In that cabinet, there were hotheads. Those who will say, Asiwaju, no, this is wrong. People like Tunji Bello will tell him, this is wrong, sir. There's no big deal about it. Any leader who truly wants progress would value feedback. Asiwaju is not like President Buhari. And I've said it before that this one is concerned about the way the public perceives him. Sometimes President Buhari will take a decision and he doesn't give a damn about what people think. Even all the people around him may say, no, this is wrong, sir. President Buhari will still stand by what he believed in. Asiwaju is someone acutely conscious of how he's perceived by the public. He's a skillful politician and he knows that once the people turn against you, or even the people around you, your gravitas as a leader is gone. And I remember reminding him when the matter of Amotekun happened. I reminded him, I said, you are both a political leader and a community leader, a cultural leader. Yes, I said you are both a political leader and a cultural leader. By cultural leader, I meant that he is also a leader of the Yorubas. That whatever it is your people want, you can't be seen to be publicly against it. Especially when it is apparent that they were not asking for it flippantly. They felt insecurity was too much at that time, they wanted it. You can't go against it. And we saw what Asiwaju did in the end. That statement that he issued to put the Attorney General in his place. And we saw that in the end, Amotekun happened. People do not remember some of these things. A good leader, when he takes a step and he's been able to hear from the people,
feedback,
and he can see that, look, this looks like a wrong step, he has to do what is right. And what is right, you know, yesterday we were saying the House of Reps, they are looking at this matter. It makes sense to advise the president that, look, this particular, you have a whole package, just like Dele Alake said, there are other things contained in the
palliative.
Yes. But that particular one many Nigerians see it as merely representing same of same. Part of what happened in the last administration that many people did not like. It is prone to corruption. It doesn't address poverty. In fact, it doesn't address inflation. It even worsens it. It doesn't control inflation in any way. And spending so much money on consumption rather than production is not the way to go for an economy that is gasping. So it was an easy position to take. We are not like some people that even if you arrest a criminal, because that criminal is someone that they like, they will not even report it. They won't even report it. We are not like those people. And at the end of the day, we have to stay true to our conscience. How do you stay true to your conscience? You see the truth, you see that which inflicts pain on the people, you have to talk about it. Yeah. And that's what we are doing. Yeah. They can say what they like, but that's what we are doing. And today we remind them that we have always stood on the side of the Nigerian people and we will not change. When Emefiele was inflicting body blows against our people, we stood by our people. At the end of the day, the truth always prevails.
The truth always prevails. Doctor, he said it in his inauguration speech. He said it in the inauguration dinner that he's not going to lord over us, that he's not going to rule us, that he will listen to his people.
Yeah,
because this is what is happening.
Yeah, because really that is the way to go. Governance is about the people. We've always said it. And even the definition of democracy is very clear. It's about the people. And the people are not only saying this out of the fact that they don't want him to spend the money on just 12 million people out of 200 million. They are saying it because we can see where we are coming from and where we are.
Those policies that weren't...
In the last regime, you recollect it was also said clearly on this program. Some people claimed that they distributed food during COVID-19 to schools that were shut.
And children were at home.
And children were home. And we saw places where they said they wanted to distribute 20,000 in 4 tranches. And sometimes it was only one that they did. And when they do that one, as the recipient is going off the photo up for that event, at the back of the hall, part of the money is collected. We saw all of that happen. And it will be a dangerous trend to continue that way. Because what it means is that this government has also opened another flank for fraud. Massive one at that. Where some people are going to become billionaires overnight for doing nothing but at the expense of the people. And what was the major argument? If you had followed the social media, it was the fact that, see, Mr. President, if we have 500 billion to distribute, let's distribute it. Put it on the refineries. At least if you can't resolve all, resolve one. Put them on buses that can move people. Let our trains have more coaches. Those are the issues we are facing. Let us become a productive nation, not a consumption one. We are consuming now, and that is very dangerous. If we get all of these monies and what we do, the 800 million from the World Bank that we say we want to use as palliative, if we get it all, and what we have done is to share it to a few people, because that's what will eventually happen, then we have not done this nation any good. There are things we can do. Buy buses. Ensure that those buses you are even bringing in, they are not petrol dependent. Now, we are talking, in this country, there are vehicles that use gas. They have some that will run on electric. So that we don't go through all the mistakes we've made in the past. That's what Nigerians are saying. And like he has also said, instead of unveiling these things piecemeal, let Nigerians see the big picture. What do you even have in this package? Because it's like that is what is the issue. Labour is saying The cost of petrol has gone up. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. Let labor even see what is in that package. Akpabio today, that's the Senate president, was talking about increase in salary. Is it part of the plan? If it is part of the plan, are you going to check inflation? Because it's a big deal. So if what you are doing also for labor will be what you have called palliative, make available some money that can help them to move around and all the rest, then let us know so that Nigerians can be at rest and say, okay, it's a full package. It's not just distribution of money to a few people. And I think that is key.
You know, Nigerians sometimes, all they want to know is that something that will better their lots and improve their lives and way of livelihood. That's what they want. Now, a lot of people are blaming, this administration. I went to a filling station today and people were just shouting, Tinubu, Tinubu, and it's part of the deregulation of the downstream sector.
Yeah.
So I think the government will need to showcase what they have in plan and roll it out on time so that people can be placated.
The truth is, a lot of Nigerians that wanted us to believe that they didn't like the old order, that they favored free enterprise and all that. The moment this policy began to show, began to inflict pain, they started saying something else. You can't say that
everybody, they were on the same page on the removal of fuel subsidy.
You can't say you support removal of subsidy and
At
then
the same time you are saying
that the
you are
pain
shouting
that
that
comes with it, that you are saying they should not. Every time that subsidy is removed, you expect that prices will go up. It's just the normal.
comes to pains.
So a lot of us, yes, we said okay. Let market forces decide. Let's stop spending all this money. How can a country spend more than 13 trillion on subsidy in just a few years? 13 trillion. 13 trillion would do a lot
On infrastructure.
What's even our budget for a whole year?
So now it's been removed. It will come with pains, whether we like it or not. Now saying that why the price that went up to around 80, Brent crude, around $80 per barrel, it can still come down to 30 or 40. We saw it before. The reason it went up this time is connected to the war in Ukraine. Because Russia is a big oil producer, So our people must reckon with the fact that, look, this pain will come. Secondly, government has to take steps to address the matter of palliatives, especially for transportation. People need to go to work. People need to commute from state to state. They need to commute within their states, within even their communities. But a situation in which people have to spend so much money, 800 naira to move from one location to another, even Okada riders now, is 600 naira from Baga to Akute, 600 naira. People can survive.
100, 200.
That was why we suggested that, look,
We are checking.
flood, it's not funny, honestly.
It's not, really.
So it's a terrible thing that a lot of our people, already our people are going through a lot.
Yeah, before this.
Before this now came. Now, if you flood our communities with buses, cascade it down to local government level, state governments too, as federal government is rolling out palliatives, if states do not join, to make it cascade down.
Because they collect part of
It will, whatever government, federal government does, will amount to a drop in the ocean.
Nothing.
I've seen some states. Some states, I'm impressed with some states.
Yes.
You saw Governor Zulu.
Yes. Governor Opus Odima.
Governor Zulu, within a short time, look how many buses and pickup vans that he rolled out. The pickup vans will take farmers to their farms.
And bring back their
them
produce.
back. That's a quick thinking governor. A governor doesn't want to see his people suffer. And that's why he's so respected even among his colleagues. I doubt if there's a governor who will look at Zulum and say, look, I'm better than Zulum in performance.
And intelligence.
So he knows what to do. Now, compressed natural gas, we've been talking about it. We have to help our people who have vehicles. They have to set up, what's it called, service centers, where people who have their buses can convert to compressed natural gas because it's cheaper. If anything that will give you like 150 naira per liter at this time, it is like something that God has sent to you. So if government, I'm talking about things that government can do quickly, because if we don't do something quickly, my God, no matter how costly, government must do something quickly, because nothing can be more costly than crisis. I've said before that Jafar Nemeri, there was a coup against him just because of bread prices. Bread prices, oh. And before he knew it, he was gone.
He was out of power.
Today, Sudan is still suffering
From that crisis.
from the crisis of that a long time ago. So, there is nothing costlier than crisis. Government should not think of the money. They have to come up quickly now with those palliatives, especially in respect of transportation. You know why I'm happy on transportation? Even the peasant farmer, he needs to move produce from his farm to the hinterland, I mean to urban center. It's still transportation that he needs. He's not going to put everything on his head.
Because those things are there on the farm. If we
address that pain, the pain that this thing has inflicted, especially in respect of the transport sector, honestly, it will begin to calm things down.
I have a caller, Alaja Abanishi from Agege in Lagos. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
Yes, thank you for joining us, Alaja.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Well, what our presidents have done for us is fine. It's my support that they should have. Hello, my support to that go up to the five boss. And
hello,
madam.
Hello, that they go and buy bus, preparing our roads. Because all the money wants to share with us. They can never overhaul of us in Nigeria. Because many people that are in charge of this thing, they will send the money for your family. They can't put it out. Later they will insult our president.
All right. I was just trying to get to what Alaja said.
I was talking about the boss.
The boss.
Government needs to
that something must be done, not for individuals to just take the money. You know.
So now that we have a kind of review, what do you expect the government to do?
Well, government should do all that can ensure that the pains are lessened. That's what is important now. And like BQ said, where to start from is transportation. If you, as I was driving down here now, most filling stations where you would have seen 50, 100 cars, you see 4, 5, 10 cars entering to buy fuel, meaning that people are no longer using the vehicles.
I didn't even encounter traffic along the way.
I have somebody who will go to Yaba maybe on a daily basis to go and buy goods and all the rest. She went today by public transport because that's what makes sense now. So, but even at that, those ones should be affordable, you know, so that the cost of goods and services don't begin to even go up again.
The only way
it's gone up.
The only way it can be affordable for our people is when the transporter gets his bus converted to compressed natural gas.
Yes, which is
that is cheap.
Cheap.
And because it's cheap,
you know,
we will not be able to inflate
and it's doable. It has been done.
Of course.
It's been done now in Nigeria.
Okay.
So what we need will be more points for those kind of things to happen, so that we depend less on fuel, on petrol. That's what is important.
We'll take this break.